All right. Well, Andrea, thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to present here this evening. If everyone could make sure to please mute their microphone so that we don't have lots of feedback and everyone has the best possible experience. A couple of folks joining in now. Welcome in. Awesome. So good evening. Welcome to my presentation on promoting student success in an online classroom. My name is Todd. I'm really excited to serve as our facilitator tonight. I'll provide more of an introduction as we move through our presentation this evening. I'm going to go through this fairly quickly. We want to be respectful of your time, but as Andrea said, she'll help me to manage that chat pod. So if you have something to share, if you have a question, an idea, a random thought, feel free to jump in. If you don't stop me, I'll never stop. So we're going to take a quick look at our agenda this evening. First, I'll offer a little bit of a disclaimer. I'm then going to provide a brief introduction. We'll explore the unique nature of the adult learner, and we'll finally wrap up with my top 10 list of ways that we as instructors can promote student success in an online classroom. I'll try to offer some actionable tips and tricks along the way. Oliver Wendell Holmes said the main part of intellectual education is not the acquisition of facts, but learning how to make facts live. I think about that quote all the time in my work with students, in that at the end of the day, our students take education and translate that into a better job, into a new job, a new career. We need to be responsible for and take responsibility for helping to ensure that they meet the learning objectives, but that they also have the knowledge necessary to be successful in the real world. So now for the standard disclaimers. Today's presentation comes from my experience as an online educator. I've been teaching online and developing courses since 2009, but your experiences are just as valuable. Please feel free to share those experiences in the chat pod or unmute your microphone to weigh in. Our students are individuals. It's important, I think, that we take a varied approach. I have to be honest and tell you, when my class doesn't do well, I take it personally, but hopefully it's those experiences that help me to improve as an instructor in future courses. A little bit of a self-introduction. My name is Todd. I have been teaching here at the university for a number of years. Bend, Oregon is home. I have been teaching since 2009, served as a program director, director of training, director of faculty performance. I'm past president and CEO of a national healthcare company. I did that job for 12 years, only hated it for 10. The other 2 were really awesome. I do live in beautiful Bend, Oregon. That really handsome, the really stunning looking guy on the screen there, that's my horse. I'm the other one. I have a master's of business administration with a concentration in healthcare administration. I have a master's of education with a concentration in organizational leadership. I have a master's of science in information technology. I have a graduate certificate in human resources, and I'm working toward a doctorate of education, which I suspect I will defend my dissertation in early 2021, God willing, and the creek don't rise. So that's a little bit about me. Like I said, I've been teaching for about 10 years now and developing curriculum in online settings. So I wanted to start today with our conversation just about the adult learner. I think that adult learners obviously present some unique challenges, but also some unique opportunity for us as instructors. We know that adult learners demand relevance, they demand practicality. Many have experience and they want that experience to be valued and recognized. Some of our students struggle financially with and with life issues and family issues, like many of us. All of our students are juggling various priorities. Our students tell us time and time again they need clarity, they want to be heard. Flexibility obviously matters because of all the things I just mentioned, and anxiety, problems with time management, lack of discipline and commitment. All of those things can and do creep in to the online classroom. Is that your experience? Have I missed anything? I'm sure I have. Yeah, we'll see. I want to just be called Todd, kind of like Cher. But Andrea, I do have one requirement when I do complete my doctorate. I need a friend to just one time like page me at an airport, just
As
because
Dr. Kane.
I just want to hear somebody say one time, Dr. Kane.
I can
Dr.
do
Todd
that.
Kane,
I will be that friend. Sign
please
me
report to the white courtesy telephone.
Sign me up, I'm in.
Just once. Okay, awesome. So, yeah, I mean, this is a unique population. And I think that part of our responsibility is to take advantage of the unique nature of this group. So with the adult learner as the backdrop here for our presentation, I want to jump right in and share my top 10 tips for promoting student success in an online classroom. Number 10, make it relevant and tie everything when possible to the real world. You know, that world, the world that exists after school. Allow students opportunities to share their experience and to use their experiences to help bolster their words and their work. Some classroom tips: offer detailed feedback that makes real-world connections. Consider using video resources in feedback, links to current research, links to current events. Provide weekly announcements that summarize the learning and tie that learning to their future career. I like to use a beginning week announcement, a midweek announcement, and an end of week announcement. And as the instructor, I try to answer two questions. First, what the heck did you learn this week? And second, why does it matter? Ask questions in the discussion forums that force students to go out and locate timely, real-world information related to the topic, and then ask them to share not only their experience, but that research. Lisa says, I like doing that with students. They enjoy the information we share as well as our own personal experiences. And we're going to talk a lot about those personal experiences, Lisa. That is a very important very important. That's not common. The school's decided that you're an expert. Are you proving that to your students? So many times I work with instructors who take the I'm the expert and that's enough approach. I try to demonstrate that I'm an expert to my students every day in all of my work. Students want and they need to hear, to Lisa's point, they want and they need to hear about your professional experiences. Tell those professional stories. We are leaders in the classroom, and all great leaders tell great stories. Prove, absolutely prove that you're a subject matter expert in the grading, in your discussion work, and in the announcements. Some classroom tips for you on this. Demonstrate that you have concepts and that you put those to practice. In the discussions, responding with, in my professional experience, I have seen this, I have done this. Use the feedback to support the fact that you are in fact qualified to teach the course. Share the experiences, demonstrate the expertise, and never, never leave the student wondering why this person teaches this course. Number 8, build rapport and community. You know, we hear faculty and institutions talk about the need to build a community in an online class, but sometimes we forget that this really starts with the instructor. Are we active participants in the discussions? Are we asking questions that promote critical thinking? I like to build out 2, 3, 4 substantive discussion responses, 100, 150, 200 words. Post those throughout the week. Pepper the discussion with your good work. Acknowledge effort and experience. Have an actual conversation with students. And in the classroom, participate in those discussions on multiple days. Interact with each student in some meaningful way during the week. Personally welcome every single student, not just when the class starts, but I like to welcome those students to the discussion each and every week. Share research in the discussions. Ask the students to review that research, to analyze that research, and to share their thoughts on that research. Make personal connections through the feedback on written assignments. Absolutely. Make it interesting, make it relevant. They want to hear that. And if you have just, you know that having conversations with students on the phone, many times they'll ask about your professional experience, or you'll have an opportunity to tell stories. Take it from that one individual interaction and try to duplicate that in the classroom. Students really love it. Little videos, or a little Why It Matters announcement, or a from the trenches kind of announcement. There are lots of ways to build that rapport, to build community, and we know the research proves that that really matters. So number 7 on my list, engage with the students, really engage. In my experience, students do better the more engaged I am in the classroom. If I'm an active participant, they're more likely to be an active participant. It really, again, it starts with us as the instructor. Are we creating engaging discussions, creating robust announcements, demonstrating real presence in the classroom? Consider providing guidance in the announcements to help students be successful that week, to outline what they're doing that week. Give them a research jumping off point. Post weekly reminders and announcements such as your initial post is due, or the week is coming to an end, or my favorite, I've completed grading. That always lights a fire under those that haven't submitted their work. Use email to inspire, use email to encourage, use email to inform. Those short videos are, and the nice thing about, Todd, when you create those kind of videos, if you're teaching similar classes or the same class over, you can repurpose those. Takes a little work on the front end, but students love that type of engagement. Now, what I always do, just to make sure that we're covering ourselves from a accessibility standpoint, I always start with a script, so a written script on a Word doc. That Word doc, that script becomes an announcement, accompanied by the video, and then I use Screencast-O-Matic and I turn the captions on so that we've got captioning, we've got a script, and we've got the video, so that we're kind of covering ourselves from an accessibility standpoint. But you're right, they love that. It helps to bring the online classroom to life. Number 6, make career connections. Our students are not typically here because they want to be academics. The truth is, in my conversations with students, they want a better job, they want to be able to take better care of the people that they love, they want a career, and they want opportunity. I try to help with this by adding career to everything I do in the classroom, from the feedback to the announcements. I try to demonstrate those connections. Present questions in the discussion, asking students how that content is related to their future career. Consider adding a career corner to all of your weekly announcements. Consider providing information about professional associations. Offer opportunities for students to call on your professional experience and knowledge, and call on you when they have career questions. Encourage those conversations. Number 5, adult learners want reward. Reward comes in various forms. We can offer grades as reward, we can offer feedback as reward, and we can offer recognition as reward. Provide balanced feedback. Indicate what the students did well, how they can improve, and clearly articulate why the grade they received is the grade that was in fact earned. Call out exceptional student performance. If a majority of students did well on a particular assignment, consider calling that out in an announcement. Things like, great job this week, guys, in the discussion. I love how Lisa brought this to the table and Andrea provided some really great research. That recognition is incredibly important and can go a long way, not only towards recognizing those individuals, but raising the bar for everyone else to understand kind of what the expectation is and how they too can contribute in a meaningful way. Catching up on the chat here, Lisa, how they can use the information in their future careers, a great way to enhance critical thinking. Absolutely. What I teach healthcare courses. Taking an assignment and then carrying that assignment forward in the discussion. How do you use this in the real world of practice? If you're working in a hospital, how is this information going to impact you, going to impact decision making, going to impact your patients? So that is reward number 5. Let's move on. Number 4 here. Let me back up. Number 4, remember the motivation. Motivation matters. Most students, when they initially enrolled in school, had a very specific motivator. They wanted to get a better job, provide a better life for their kids, provide a better life for their family. figure out what that motivator is and use that, capitalize on that, uncover that motivation in the initial discussion and throughout the course really. Show genuine interest in helping them to achieve their career goals. Create forums where students can discuss future plans and send reminders to students asking them to make sure to remember the motivation. It is so incredibly, incredibly important. And as students get further along in their degree, that can be hard to remember. It can be a struggle to remember, why am I doing this? Why am I balancing all of the things that I'm balancing now? What's the end game look like? Number 3, make it emotional, ladies and gentlemen. Make those emotional connections. Demonstrate your own emotional IQ. When we connect emotionally with our students, we can then motivate them, help to keep them on track, and keep their interest. So in the classroom, consider responding to students in a very respectful way. If a student's reaching out because difficulties they're having, something as simple as, "I'm so sorry to hear this," or "I will keep you in my thoughts," can go a really long way. Send emails to struggling students each week after grading is complete, asking how you can help. Now, I have to admit here, I think that in higher education, particularly in online higher education, we spend a lot of energy focusing on students that are struggling, at-risk students. And that makes sense. That's good business to focus on those students. But I think sometimes we forget to focus on the students that are also doing well. So one of the things I've started doing recently, each week, I sit down and I send outreach emails to students who are struggling. I take a few more minutes and I will send a personal email to all the students that are doing well. And I'll say, "Hi, Andrea, you've done a really great job thus far in the class. I'm so impressed with your hard work. Please keep it up. Let me know if I can help." Do you know that I have received, probably in the last couple of months, I've received 6 or 7 emails from students saying, "You are the first professor to ever reach out and tell me that I was doing a good job in an email." So those at-risk students, they're important. We need to focus on them. We need to help them along. But we also need to motivate and continue to praise and pat on the back those students that are doing well. Post announcements offering students opportunities to ask questions. Send those outreach emails that demonstrate your genuine care. That goes a long way. Number 2, clarify expectations, set the tone, and never leave policy-related questions unanswered. Provide guidance in those weekly announcements, use rubrics, share policies and procedures up front, and stick to them. Using rubrics, if a point deduction cannot be justified in the rubric, the scoring guide, the assignment instructions, then it really just, in my view, shouldn't be taken. The welcome announcement is a great place to clarify expectations. This can also help to remove obstacles early on in the process. We have amazing resources here at the university for students, and I often wonder how many times do we really take advantage of those? How many times do we take advantage of those? And how many times do our students really take advantage of those? Send policy reminders throughout the term, and let's get some mileage out of those announcements. Sometimes students just don't read announcements, so I like to send them all as an email as well. All right. Number 1, manage the class. Actually manage it. Grade timely. I grade daily. Students love that. Participate in the discussions daily. Even if they do not, I still post. Post announcements when grading for the week is complete. As I said earlier, it tends to light a fire. Evaluate your pass percentages each week and send out outreach emails to the at-risk students and to the ones who are doing a good job. Make it easy for students to get a hold of you. I provide my phone number, my email. They can book time on my calendar. Make that feedback actionable and meaningful. They should look at that feedback and know exactly what they can do to improve next week. And demonstrate your genuine interest in having students pass the class. Adult learners demand purpose. They need to be heard. They seek real-world connections. They desire community, and they are motivated by progress. We play a huge role in that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time this evening. 20 minutes. I hope it was a valuable 20 minutes. If you've got questions, my contact information's on the screen there, todd.kane@ottawa.edu, 505-908-1979. If you've got questions or comments, will you please share them in the chat pod? But if you ever find yourself thinking, gosh, how can I address this? Or how can I, liven up my classroom? Or what was it Todd said about this? Feel free to give me a call. I love working with faculty just like you. I'm blessed to have the opportunity to speak with you here this evening. I think engagement is the most important thing, and that covers a lot of things. That presence, I guess I should say, the announcements, being active and present in those discussions. I think when students feel like we're there, they sit up a little straighter, they pay a little more attention. If we're only in every few days, it doesn't feel real to them. So I think presence would be probably number one.
I'm glad you said that. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that look, here's what I tell my students, and this is the honest truth. You are taking an online class, but you are not alone. Mm-hmm. I am here. I am in, and I get into the class. I will say I take one day off. I'm off on Fridays. I don't turn on my phone. I know, don't tell anyone, but I don't even answer Andrea's call.
Hey.
I know, right? On a Friday, we all need time to recharge, but I'm in the classroom 6 days a week, actively participating, posting announcements, getting in those discussions. And I think if you develop a good rhythm, this doesn't mean it has to take a ton of time, but to demonstrate presence, I think is probably the most important thing. Oh, good. So you get Sundays off. Good for you. Jennifer, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, I do have a homework assignment for you tonight. It's super important too. Andrea probably forgot to tell you this, but this is required and it needs to be done by end of night tonight. And that is that you need to go tell someone you love that you love them. Happy New Year to each and every one of you. Thank you so much for the opportunity to present here tonight. Hopefully, Andrea will invite me back at some point. Take good care, everyone.
Thank you, Todd. Thanks, everybody, for coming. I have this recorded, and we'll send it out so you guys can watch it again. And for those that weren't able to attend, if you have any follow-up questions, email Todd. He's available all day on Friday, especially. So thank you, everybody, for making it. And Todd, thank you so much. This was wonderful.
Oh, you are so welcome. Truly my pleasure. Take good care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.